Have you ever found yourself with this incredible sprawling idea for a novel, maybe, or just a really deep, intricate story?
Oh, yeah,
But the thought of getting it all out of your head and, onto the page feels like trying to wrestle a particularly slippery octopus.
definitely. Happens all the time.
You've got the vision, right? The vivid characters, maybe even a killer ending brewing in there. But bridging that huge gap between the raw inspiration and, well, actually writing it can feel monumental. Almost impossible sometimes.
It's such a common creative hurdle, isn't it? That blank page or even just the story swirling in your mind, it can be incredibly daunting.
Yeah,
You're eager to capture all those details, the twists, the emotional beats you've imagined. But the big question is always, how do you consistently generate those things? How do you keep the story moving forward and stop yourself from just, staring into space, hoping inspiration magically hits?
exactly. And this is where things get really interesting. What if I told you that a system, one designed fundamentally for solo role-playing games, dice, abstract tables, that sort of thing, actually holds a powerful key to unlocking your inner storyteller, providing not just sparks of inspiration, but a structured yet really flexible framework, even for traditional writing, like prose fiction?
Okay, that's unexpected. A role-playing system for novel writing.
That's the intriguing question we're diving into today.
And this deep dive, it's precisely about pulling out the most vital, actionable insights from our main source, Mythic Magazine Volume 43. We're focusing specifically on this really groundbreaking article inside called Writing Fiction with Mythic.
Right.
Think of this as your kind of shortcut to understanding a really powerful, often overlooked creative tool, something you might never have thought about for your own writing, whether that's a novel, short story, or heck, even just journaling.
That's it. Mythic Magazine, Volume 43. It's published by Tana Pigeon and Wordmill Creative. And it really digs into the art of solo role-playing, getting more narrative mileage out of Mythic and his cousin, the Adventure Crafter.
Yeah, the whole magazine is packed with cool stuff. Like there's an article on creating game loops in solo play, exploring those recurring patterns like the hero's journey, but through a solo gaming lens. Really interesting ideas in there.
Totally. But for us today, the absolute core mission is dissecting that second big article, Writing Fiction with Mythic. It really captures that spirit of finding those aha moments we love to talk about.
And the central idea, as the article lays it out, it's incredibly powerful. It basically says players are already using Mythic to write fiction, maybe without even consciously thinking of it that way. So this deep dive, we're going to explore the specific methods from the article to make that process more intentional, more structured, and really amplify your creative output.
So whether your big goal is a full-blown novel or maybe a captivating short story, or perhaps you just want maximum narrative control and, delightful surprises in your solo campaigns,
Right.
these methods are designed to adapt right to your goals.
And that's precisely where this connects directly to you, our listener. We know you're always looking to gain knowledge quickly, find those powerful aha moments, get informed on innovative approaches.
Exactly.
And this isn't just some niche discussion for aspiring novelists or like super hardcore role players. These strategies can genuinely infuse any narrative thing you're doing.
Yeah, like a personal journal that needs structure.
Or a long-running D&D campaign that's hit a wall and needs fresh plot hooks.
Or even just brainstorming ideas for a complex work project.
Absolutely. It can add incredible depth, unexpected turns, and that feeling of organic unfolding. It's really about being better informed about this remarkably flexible tool that kind of transcends the usual creative boundaries.
Okay, so let's unpack this basic question first. Why would anyone even consider using a system designed for role-playing games, like Mythic, to write traditional fiction? I mean, on the surface, it feels a bit counterintuitive, doesn't it?
It really can seem that way, like using a spreadsheet to paint a picture, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
But when you strip it right down, Mythic and its companion tool, the Adventure Crafter, they are fundamentally designed not just to simulate a game, but to generate narrative.
Okay.
The article puts it very plainly. Mythic is a narrative creation engine. Its whole purpose is to produce story, to simulate the kind of creative output you'd expect from a human game master.
And what's particularly brilliant about it, and often gets highlighted, is that it's system agnostic.
Right.
Which, for anyone new to that term, it's just a fancy way of saying it doesn't really care which specific role-playing game system you might pair it with.
You could use it with D&D for fantasy, Pathfinder, Call of Cthulhu for horror.
Or, as we're really digging into today, the most stripped-down approach, using absolutely no RPG rules at all.
Yeah.
just Mythic for pure, unadulterated fiction writing. It's a narrative framework all by itself.
Precisely. The core function of Mythic is to simulate those unpredictable creative thoughts of a human GM, right? Delivering unexpected plot twists, character reactions, setting details. It's designed to essentially generate a dynamic narrative for you, the player or writer, to interpret, interact with, and build upon. So when you frame it that way as a GM simulator, the leap from using it for an RPG session to using it as, say, a brainstorming partner for fiction becomes not just small, but almost logical.
Because if you really think about it, all role-playing games are story creation tools at their heart, even the really crunchy ones, the ones with super detailed combat rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're still playing out a character story within some kind of defined, evolving framework. You're collaboratively or in solo play, personally creating a narrative.
So the jump from crafting an RPG adventure to crafting a piece of prose fiction isn't really that jarring. It's a remarkably natural step, just shifting the output from, play session notes to written words.
And this isn't just theory, right? The article mentions actual authors using this.
Oh yeah, it shares compelling anecdotes. Both traditionally published authors and dedicated hobbyist writers are actively using Mythic in their creative process.
Wow.
And when they describe how Mythic helps them, it sounds like they're talking about a trusted friend, or maybe a reliable collaborator they can bounce ideas off.
Like having a creative partner.
Exactly. Or picture a team of creatives, or even a unique writer's workshop made of tables and dice. That's genuinely how many writers see Mythic, like an external muse that never really runs dry.
That's incredibly powerful, and it tackles a common fear for writers, doesn't it? The idea of losing control.
Right. But with Mythic, it seems to be the opposite. The article really emphasizes that Mythic is the creative partner. Yeah. It feeds you prompts, unexpected turns.
But you are the actual creative.
That's the key phrase. You interpret those prompts, you shape the raw ingredients, you mold them into coherent, compelling prose. It's a system that empowers you to take those spontaneous sparks and turn them into something cohesive and uniquely your own.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you, the listener. How does this actually help your creative process day to day?
Well, it offers a structured, yet incredibly flexible framework for brainstorming, getting past that often frustrating blank page. If you're wrestling with writer's block, Mythic can be that immediate, objective spark that gets you unstuck. It offers a direction you might not have considered.
Right, it gives you something to react to.
Exactly. It helps ensure consistent forward momentum in your stories. It provides just enough intriguing information to keep you writing without feeling totally overwhelmed by too many options or, choice paralysis.
So it's about efficiently generating those crucial creative sparks right when you need them, pushing your narrative forward instead of letting it stall out.
Precisely.
Okay, so we've nailed down why you might want to bring Mythic into your fiction writing. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about the how. The article calls this next section Getting Literary, and it's all about adopting some key mindset shifts and practical strategies.
Yeah, approaching Mythic with a real writer's mentality.
The goal being to give your narratives more depth, richer detail, without necessarily adding loads of extra system mechanics beyond Mythic's core stuff.
And it's really important to remember, as the article points out, these ideas aren't just for fiction writers. They're incredibly valuable for solo role players, too.
Right.
The same techniques that help you craft a compelling novel can also make your solo RPG campaigns feel way more like a cohesive, deep story with a natural flow. It's about blurring that line between passively telling stories and actively playing through them.
Gotcha. So our first big strategy, thinking in terms of prompts, and maybe most importantly, really running with them.
Yeah, this is fundamental. We've talked about Mythic giving you answers, but the article wants us to reframe those. They're not conclusions, they're invitations, they're narrative prompts.
Okay, so define prompt in this context.
Sure. A prompt is basically any result Mythic gives you that you have to actively interpret and expand into story.
Like a fake question answer.
Exactly. That simple yes-no, maybe with a twist from the dice. Or those abstract words you roll on a meaning table, where two random words combine to spark an idea.
Or even just getting an altered or interrupt scene signal.
Absolutely. That tells you something unexpected is happening. Mythic gives the nudge, you build the narrative universe around it.
And the core philosophy here is run with it.
Totally. Don't just give a short interpretation. See how far that single idea can take you. Prompts are invitations to expand, explore, create as much narrative and detail as you possibly can until your creative energy for that specific bit naturally fades.
Okay, let's make this concrete. The article has an example, right? Farmer and Paladin.
It does, yeah. It really shows this run-with-it idea perfectly. Imagine your classic high fantasy paladin character is traveling and meets a humble farmer with his ox.
Standard stuff?
Right. You decide to roll on the meeting table to get some flavor for what the farmer says. And you get the words, simple and judgmental.
Okay, simple and judgmental. My first thought, the quick interpretation.
Good one.
Farmer stops, looks the paladin up and down, frowns, spits maybe, says something gruff like, "No time for fighting men in armor, move on, don't burn my fields." Something like that. Short, sharp, judgmental.
Right. That's the initial, simple, almost literal take. It answers the prompt efficiently. But now let's contrast that with the expanded, narrative-driven interpretation using the run-with-it mindset.
Okay.
Instead of just accepting that dismissal, maybe the paladin, who's observant, notices signs of past trouble. An old axe notch in a fence post. Scorch marks on trees nearby.
Ah, adding detail.
Exactly. So the paladin cautiously asks, "An army came through here once, perhaps?" And the farmer just erupts. His old frame shakes with anger. Once, 3 times. 3 times men in armor like you marched through. Trampled crops, slaughtered beasts, demanded tribute. Left us to starve.
Wow, okay, so his judgment isn't just about the paladin, it's deep-seated trauma.
Precisely. And the paladin, sensing this deeper story, doesn't just walk away. He gently explains he's not a soldier, he's on a quest, looking for maybe a lost companion, a provider of sorts, someone who works the land like the farmer.
Connecting with him.
Right. And the farmer pauses. The fury fades a bit. He murmurs, "Well, in that case, follow me. We can share a meal. Tell me about this friend. Maybe I can help." He might even add a warning like, "Just remember this kindness if you find yourself back here in a fighting way."
Okay, yeah, that's a whole scene, a rich scene.
Exactly. From just 2 words, simple and judgmental, by running with it, you generate this extensive, consistent, detailed narrative, a dynamic conversation, hints of local history, local sentiment, even an unexpected connection.
Way beyond just a grumpy farmer.
Far beyond. That's the power of really running with those prompts. Extracting maximum creative mileage from minimal input.
That's a great illustration, and that kind of expansive thinking, it flows right into the second strategy, expectations to the max and beyond. Or, as you mentioned, what role players call the rule of cool.
Yeah, it's a natural extension. The idea here is once your initial kind of obvious interpretations for a prompt start to dry up, you don't have to immediately reach for the dice again.
Okay.
Instead, you can tap directly into the rule of cool, which is this great concept from RPGs where basically if an idea, a plot twist, a character moment is just too cool, too interesting, too narratively satisfying.
It trumps the strict rules.
Exactly. It trumps strict rules or even just mundane expectations.
Yeah.
It's giving yourself permission to be a bit audacious, to go for the really compelling idea.
So let's go back to the farmer and paladin. They're having stew now. How does the rule of cool apply?
Okay, so maybe warmed by the stew and the conversation, the farmer starts recounting tales of his own youth. And surprise, he reveals he was actually a seasoned warrior himself once.
Whoa, okay. Didn't see that coming.
Right. The paladin's listening, totally rapt, to stories of old battles, maybe foolish risks, forgotten heroism, and suddenly you realize part of the farmer's earlier anger wasn't just about his fields being trampled, but maybe his own lingering guilt about wars he fought in, farms he helped destroy somewhere else.
Adding layers upon layers.
Exactly. This approach is like a license to create. You're letting ideas grow organically from what came before, even if you didn't roll for them. It allows for richer, more surprising developments you might not have planned.
It shifts control more to the storyteller's imagination.
Absolutely. You stop writing the scene when you've genuinely explored the most interesting possibilities, not just when you've answered a specific yes-no question. It builds your writer's intuition.
That's a huge shift, yeah. Really embracing the creative flow. And speaking of mindset, strategy 3 is super important for setting things up right. Giving the first scene a narrative push, sometimes called scene 0.
A strong start is just vital for any story, isn't it? Instead of just jumping into chapter 1 cold, hoping for the best.
Yeah.
The article suggests putting real effort into preparing the narrative before you write that first official scene.
Like a pregame warm-up.
Kind of. Think of it as a story game before the story starts. You're proactively building the foundation, making sure your narrative has some depth and direction right from the get-go.
So how do you do that? What are the methods?
Well, the article suggests a couple of good ways. You could use Mythic's companion tool, the Adventure Crafter, maybe generate a turning point or two. That helps you shape a narrative backbone with interesting characters, plot threads, world ideas.
Okay, that sounds fairly structured.
It can be.
Hmm.
Or for something maybe simpler, more fluid, you can just lean heavily on Mythic's meaning tables. Ask yourself big questions. What kind of world is this? What's the main thing happen? Who's involved?
And then roll for each.
Yeah, pick appropriate meaning tables, roll some words, interpret them broadly, let them spark deeper ideas. Keep going until you feel like you've got enough evocative material to launch your story confidently.
The key thing here, the article says, is keep it loose, right? Fluid.
Absolutely crucial. Don't lock anything down too rigidly at this stage. It's brainstorming on steroids. Workshop ideas in your head, scribble quick notes, give concepts a chance to evolve before you commit them to the page. It makes starting less scary.
Okay, there's a sci-fi example for this.
Yes, a great one. Imagine starting a sci-fi story about a starship. First question, what's the ship doing? What's its state? Roll on action, meaning tables. Maybe get triumph and weather.
Okay, triumph, weather.
Interpretation. The ship just miraculously survived some awful natural disaster. A devastating solar storm, perhaps. Left it crippled but alive.
So it's already in distress, not just cruising. Okay, next.
What was the ship's original purpose? Roll create and comfort.
Create, comfort, luxury.
Exactly. Instantly suggests a high-end cruise ship. So now you've got this amazing contrast, a luxury liner, adrift in deep space, gone from opulence to desperation after a catastrophe. The story's already got tension.
Yeah, that writes itself almost. What about the protagonist?
Who's our main character? Roll warrior and innocent on the character identity table.
Warrior, innocent.
Interpretation. A security guard. Someone whose job was probably dealing with petty passenger stuff, maybe managing VIP lounges.
Right, easy gig.
Until now. Suddenly thrust into this catastrophe, totally out of their depth, expected to guide and protect survivors when their whole world just shattered.
Nice. You could even roll for names, add more flavor.
Definitely. The article suggests rolling I-Tal for the ship, which could become the Tally-Ho. Maybe a bit cheesy faux Victorian name that adds this ironic dark humor to the grim situation.
Love it. In the guard.
Rolling K-R, na, A-R-A key, could smoothly become Krena Araki.
Okay, so this whole iterative process using these prompts.
It builds this compelling foundation before you write scene one. You're not staring at a blank page. You're diving into a world that already feels rich with possibilities, conflicts, internal logic. It's super efficient for sparking complex ideas.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, strategy 4 really emphasizes the literary angle, using tools sparingly.
Right. This is a philosophy of minimalism. You'll still use Mythic's core tools: fate questions, discovering meaning, chaos factor, lists, scene structure, random events. But the advice is, use them as sparingly and loosely as possible.
Don't get bogged down in constant rolling.
Exactly. The absolute priority is narrative flow. The goal, as the article puts it, is to run with the narrative as far as you can go between prompts.
So you're not asking a fate question every paragraph.
Definitely not. You let the story unfold naturally, guided by your own intuition. You only reach for Mythic when you genuinely need a spark, a new direction, or a deliberate nudge. You get in tune with the story's rhythm.
And if you are using an RPG system alongside Mythic...
Same mentality applies. Use the RPG rules lightly.
Right.
Prioritize the creative ideas, the compelling narrative, over strict mechanics. The rules support, they don't dictate.
This really reframes the whole experience then.
It does. It becomes less of a role-playing adventure that generates a story and more of a story that takes cues from a role-playing adventure. The story is paramount. Mythic serves it.
Which leads very nicely into strategy 5, something really important for fiction writers. Thinking of scenes as chapters and making sure they deliver.
Yeah, this is more than just changing the name from scene to chapter. It's a philosophical shift.
How so?
In typical Mythic plays, scenes can be anything, right? Short, long, meaningful, maybe just the character poking around finding nothing. That randomness is part of the fun.
Sure, it's reactive.
But when you're writing cohesive fiction or aiming for maximum narrative impact in a solo game, every chapter has to add something important, something significant, something transformational. It's like a built-in context prompt for every segment.
So you're sacrificing some pure randomness for guaranteed narrative weight.
Pretty much. If you generate a chapter using Mythic and it feels thin, lacks punch, doesn't move the needle, you actively step back
and ask,
what more does this chapter need? Or what's something interesting I can weave in here to deepen it? It's a conscious effort to enrich the storytelling.
Okay, give me an example. Pirates.
Yeah, the article uses a great pirate example. Player has a pirate PC on a long voyage. Mystical sigils protecting the ship are failing. A fate question confirms the crew is getting really worried.
Okay, tense.
Now, a typical Mythic scene might just end there. Tension hangs. But applying the chapter mindset, the player feels it lacks punch.
Needs more oomph.
Right. So they decide to actively expand it. They add a moment where a terrified sailor actually voices the crew's fear, maybe challenges the captain. This forces the captain character to make a big stirring speech to bolster crew confidence, reaffirm their mission.
Ah, so it becomes a character moment, a leadership moment.
Exactly. Makes the chapter feel way more meaningful, adds an emotional beat, develops a captain, all born from wanting that segment to deliver more narrative weight.
Gotcha. Okay, strategy 6 sounds liberating. Inspiration over dice.
This is maybe the most crucial one. It's the guiding principle for all of this. Simple, but profound. When inspiration is hitting hard, when ideas are flowing, when the story is just pouring out of you,
Yeah.
ignore Mythic and the dice.
Yeah.
Completely. Don't break your flow to roll for something you already know or feel or can just create in that moment.
So Mythic is there for when you're stuck.
Primarily, yes. Its rules and strategies are tools to boost creativity when the muse is quiet, when you need that unexpected push. It kickstarts ideas, gives direction when you're adrift, but when the story's just coming, ride that wave.
The article makes a distinction here, right? Engine versus game.
A really important one. Mythic as a narrative engine versus Mythic as a game. As an engine, it inspires, feeds ideas, offers support, less direct challenge. It accelerates creativity. As a game, it presents surprises, subverts expectations, creates tension through uncertainty.
And for writing fiction, we lean towards the engine model.
Exactly. Prioritizing creative output over playful randomness. This strategy gives you explicit permission to take full control whenever your own creativity is firing. Let the story flow organically. Mythic is there as backup, a powerful tool when needed.
It's about empowering the writer. Mythic serves the story, not the other way around.
You got it.
Okay, last one in this section, strategy 7, scenes as prompts. This sounds like the most minimalist approach.
Arguably, yes. It really streamlines things for focused writing. With this method, you deliberately limit using rules to just the start of a chapter.
How does that work?
You begin by generating the basic scene setup, expected, altered, or interrupt. That gives you the core direction. Then, crucially, you generate 3 additional prompts right then and there.
From where?
Any core Mythic tool. A fate question, discovering meaning words, a random event, even an RPG rule if you're using one.
So you get, like, 4 pieces of info up front.
Exactly. The scene type plus 3 specific prompts. And then the magic happens. Once you have those 4 guiding points, the rest of that chapter is pure writing and interpretation.
Oh.
No more roles needed.
Wow.
You take that initial burst of inspiration, those defined prompts, and you just run with them. Fill out all the details, dialogue, action, internal thoughts, until the chapter feels complete.
That sounds incredibly efficient for writing. Do the dice stuff first, then just write.
Super efficient. And for solo role-playing, it basically turns it into a solo journaling game. Those initial roles become this rich, multifaceted prompt for your sustained creative writing. These surprisingly detailed narratives.
Okay, let's see it in action. Thorson's journey.
Right. Thorson, a warrior, needs to cross a channel quickly to warn his village about invaders. The expected scene, confirmed by Mythic, is simply him rowing across. Straightforward.
Okay, now the 3 extra prompts.
Prompt 1. A fate question. Is Thorson approached by the Finmen? These mysterious river people. Mythic is yes. Okay, instant encounter.
Adds complication. Nice. Prompt 2.
Prompt 2. Let's use an RPG skill check, maybe. Thorson needs to get past them fast. He tries bartering for safe passage using his social skill and success. He convinces them not to hurt him. We probably owes them something now.
Okay, he's safe but indebted. What do they want? Prompt 3.
Prompt 3. Discover meaning. What do the Finmen want? Roll defend and fame on the action meaning tables. The interpretation is brilliantly weird. They want Thorson to compose and perform a battle sonnet about their glorious deeds for, like, public relations with the surface dwellers.
A battle sonnet. Seriously, that's amazing.
Isn't it? So with just those few upfront prompts, Thorson Rose meets Finman, needs to give them something, and that something is a battle sonnet about their fame.
The player now has this incredibly rich foundation.
Exactly. They just write the whole chapter now.
Yeah.
The tense encounter, the negotiation, Thorson awkwardly composing this poem, maybe singing it badly.
And the outcome.
The outcome, driven by that interpretation. The Finmen are so charmed or amused by the song, they actually decide to tow his boat, doubling his speed.
Huh. Brilliant. That shows how just a few initial prompts can fuel a whole, detailed, memorable chapter. Allows imagination to soar within a clear structure. Efficiency meets creativity.
Perfectly put.
Okay, moving on from those 7 writing strategies. Section 3 digs into narrative nudges. Steering the story with random events. This sounds like refining how random events work for fiction.
That's exactly it. For a more narratively focused experience, emphasizing plot development over pure chaos, the article suggests swapping Mythic's standard event focus table for a special one, the narrative nudges table.
When would you use this?
Whenever you'd normally roll for a random event or an interrupt scene. The key difference is narrative nudges focus more directly on the story itself, its overall direction, rather than just isolated character actions or threads.
Making sure surprises serve the plot.
Right. Ensuring unexpected elements always push the main narrative forward meaningfully. The mechanics are simple. Roll in the narrative nudges table for a category, then use action meaning tables or whatever fits to interpret the specifics. It's directed, purposeful surprise.
Okay, walk us through the types of nudges.
Sure. First is narrative shifting event. This changes something really important, a core element in the ongoing storyline.
Example.
Okay. Characters are on a high-altitude airship. It's been sabotaged. A narrative-shifting event might suddenly reveal one of the innocent-seeming passengers is actually the spy or saboteur. Changes the whole dynamic instantly.
Got it. What's next?
Mystery question. This brings a compelling question right to the character's attention that needs an answer. Adds new tension, new possibilities.
Like the spy example.
Yeah, you discover the spy, but then a mystery question hits. The spy has vanished. Where are they on the ship? Instantly kicks off an investigation, a chase.
Okay, cool. What else?
Then there are character-focused ones. New NPC shifts narrative. Similar to just rolling a new NPC, but the key is this new character's arrival directly causes a major story shift. It combines introducing someone new with a big plot push. They're not just there, they change things.
And the opposite.
NPC shifts narrative. Same idea, but it's an existing NPC from your list whose actions cause the story shift. Maybe a trusted ally reveals a secret, makes a shocking move.
Then there's the big one, narrative twists.
Oh yeah, this is for maximum impact. Not only does the story change significantly, but something you thought was true gets reversed or completely undone.
Right.
Back on the airship, you track down the spy, maybe with the captain's help. Everyone's relieved. Then boom, narrative twist reveals the captain, your ally, was part of the plot all along. The helper is the mastermind. Gut punch.
Ooh, that's dramatic. Any more?
A couple. NPC does something surprising. An existing NPC acts totally out of character, does something unexpected given who they are. Your loyal, by-the-book court mage suddenly vanishes. Maybe looks like they betrayed the king. Or your super cautious thief character rashly kicks open a clearly dangerous, cursed door in a dungeon. Adds unexpected depth.
And the last one.
Current context. This is closer to a standard event, but you interpret the meaning words based specifically on what's happening right now in the scene. Adds immediate, relevant detail or a little development that fits the present moment.
So for you, the listener, this set of narrative nudges is like a refined toolkit.
Exactly. To introduce twists and turns that directly serve the story you're telling. It ensures surprises push the narrative meaningfully, adding depth and intrigue, not just random chaos that might not fit. Keeps things focused, but still excitingly unpredictable.
Right, you still get those delicious surprises that make stories great.
But they feel earned, they feel connected.
Okay, now to really pull all this together, let's look at the big example. Sir Hop solves a problem. This is the narrative and action bit from the magazine, right?
It is, yeah. It's a fantastic demonstration. Our hero is Sir Hop von Hoppity, the rather portly and noble giant frog, familiar some might remember from Mythic Magazine, #42.
Ha! A giant frog knight. Love it.
And this example deliberately uses many of the strategies we've talked about. Shows the prompts Mythic generates, how the writer runs with them, and crucially, it uses the narrative nudges table for its random events.
Okay, so walk us through it. Starts with scene 0.
Yep. Before Chapter 1, some initial idea generation. Sir Hop's goal. Role decrease and conflict on action meaning cables. Interpretation. Sir Hop needs a broker peace between two bickering groups. Reduce their conflict.
Simple enough goal. Who are the groups?
Rule socialite and assistant, for one. Interpretation. The Friends of the Fae, well-off villagers trying hard to appease local fairies. For the other, role soldier and religious. Interpretation. The clerics of Dondaluth, worshippers of a god of majestic and fallen beings who seem to have bad luck.
Okay, nice contrast. Posh fairy appeasers versus maybe slightly dour, unlucky clerics. Got it.
That setup gives immediate character-driven conflict. So, Chapter 1 opens. Sir Hop is mediating between Sagat, from the Fae Friends, and Ben Reader, a stern cleric.
And the argument is?
Through their heated back and forth, the issue comes out. The clerics keep marching through the sacred woods to reach their temple, disturbing the Fae spirits because the main King's Road bridge is out. It's their only road.
Ah, a practical problem causing magical friction.
Exactly. And Sir Hop, observing this again, great example of running with the prompt, letting the scene expand, realizes the obvious solution. Fix the bridge. Then the clerics can go around the woods. Conflict solved. So, being Sir Hop, he decides to fix it himself.
Our hero, off to fix a bridge. Straightforward enough for Chapter 2.
Seems like it. Chapter 2 starts with Sir Hop riding his cart toward the bridge of knightly renown, ready to do some repairs. Maybe feeling a bit of pressure from his mage companion Leela, who wants peace restored.
But then, something happens.
But then, an interrupt, generated by rolling new NPC shifts narrative on the nudges table. A tiny, mischievous pixie appears. Her meaning table words come out as punish plot and scout supporter.
Okay, punish plot, scout supporter. What does she do?
With a flick of her wrist, she magically removes the wheels from Sir Hop's cart. Stops him right there. Can't fix the bridge now. A total unexpected derailment of his plan.
Whoa. Why? What does Sir Hop do?
He asks her, obviously bewildered, why she did that. The pixie admits she just can't let him fix it. Sir Hop, being perceptive, probes deeper. He asks a crucial feat question. Is the pixie aware of the bigger dispute? Mythic says yes. And she seems really upset, like she wants to tell him more.
So he keeps questioning her, running with the interaction.
Exactly. Patiently, persistently. And finally, the pixie breaks down, almost crying, and confesses the truth. The Fae themselves destroyed the bridge.
Why?
Because of a very unfriendly monster on the other side. Rolling for description, they get strong and insubstantial. Interpretation. A unique, unsettling goo blob monster.
A strong, insubstantial goo blob.
And just like that, the whole story shifts. What started as simple mediation,
Fixing a bridge,
has organically transformed into a classic monster hunt. Sir Hop, the diplomat, now has a new, much more dangerous goal. Vanquish the goo blob to truly solve the problem and maybe earn his knightly renown.
Wow. That example really does tie it all together.
Doesn't it? You see the initial idea generation, the running with interpretations for dialogue and character, how an interrupt a specific narrative nudge dramatically shifts the plot and reveals a deeper layer, and the organic transformation of the whole quest.
And this, for you, the listener, is that concrete proof. It shows how these techniques work. Small prompts spiraling into rich, engaging stories with surprising twists. It gives you a clear roadmap for your own projects.
Novels, short stories, RPG campaigns.
Yeah.
Whatever you're working on.
So we've taken a really deep dive today into writing fiction with Mythic from Mythic Magazine Volume 43. And I hope it's clear that Mythic is, well, it's much more than just a game tool. It's a real catalyst for creativity.
Absolutely. It's this versatile, really potent narrative engine. It can fuel your fiction writing, help you smash through creative blocks, and seriously enrich your solo role-playing adventures too.
We've covered those crucial mindset shifts. Thinking bigger with prompts, embracing the rule of cool to go beyond the obvious.
Giving your beginnings that narrative push with Scene Zero, learning to use the tools sparingly so your own intuition leads.
Right, and that powerful idea of seeing every scene as a chapter that has to deliver something meaningful. Plus, using those initial scene prompts to unlock focused writing sessions.
And refining random events with narrative nudges ensures every twist serves the story, pushing it forward in compelling, meaningful ways. It's about guiding that creative randomness purposefully.
So with all these tools now, hopefully clearer in your mind, what story has been waiting maybe for ages in your heart, just begging to be set free onto the page?
Or maybe take it broader. How might this whole narrative engine mindset thinking in prompts, interpreting, running with ideas, how might that help you navigate challenges in your everyday life? Reframing problems as prompts for unexpected solutions, maybe even personal growth.
That's a fascinating thought to end on. The possibilities, as always, feel truly limitless.